Hey everybody, it's Christy from Christy's Beautiful Life. Welcome back to Loving Your Scraps with Daisy and Christy. Today I am going to be working with some of the pattern papers that I shared with you last week about going through how my scraps are stored in this lovely bag here. So I just grabbed kind of what was on top because that's what I had gone through. I already knew that they were going to work in some form, and that is what I am going to play with. So having no real idea or concept of what I want to go with other than the fact that I have these scraps, I'm kind of looking, seeing what the sizes are, the shapes are, and debating about what I want to do. And I decide that I love the wood grain. I love that wood grain. It's so beautiful, and I have to use that. It's already kind of in a banner shape, so I'm going to just go with that size and shape and play with those angles. Now, you can see little Bear's hand there. Oh, my baby bear. And so the other thing I'm going to do is look at that cloud paper there and try to decide if that I'm going to use the cloud paper side or reverse it and use the other side as well. Now, this is me completely just trying to play and use my scraps to the best of their abilities, in other words. So I don't want to have to put this back into my pile of scraps. I took them out. I want to get them used. So how can I utilize these in the best way to make that happen? I love the clouds. So what I'm going to do is fussy cut a few of them out, and then I'm going to flip the rest of the cloud paper over. And this particular piece of pattern paper, I remember being from the Summer Lights collection. So it's got that beautiful hot pink up to purple color, and I just love that. So I'm going to use that as another base layer. So I'm utilizing both sides of that pattern paper, and that dictates the rest of the colors for this layout. And it also kind of tells me what type of layout this is turning into. So you see the bright colors, it's kind of screaming summer, or at least something outside because there's clouds, right? I'm probably not going to document something about being inside with clouds in it. You absolutely can. There's nothing wrong with that. But in my mind, in my scrapping, I probably would not do that. So there you go. I've taped down that first layer because I know that I like that and I don't want that part to change. So that part got glued down right away. Now it's time to decide about photos. So I grabbed a couple options here. I really wasn't sure, and I wasn't sure about stitching, and I wasn't all of that. So my first option are these photos of Jackson and Nora walking to school. And then these set, which is the three of them going to the park for the first time since quarantine. So we moved and we still did not go anywhere. Like, we are a little on the extra cautious side just because, we're trying to be good, a good community and not get ourselves sick for no reason. But I have 3 kids. There's 5 of us in our family. So if one of us gets sick, that's 5 people sick. And I don't want to deal with that. So we have been staying home, probably more so than even other people. Just personal preference. So, however, the colors on this, the whole point of this is we went to the splash park for the first time and the kids had tons of fun, and it was awesome because we got to social distance because there wasn't very many families. I think there were 3 other families in the entire park. So we each kind of all got our own little area of the splash pad. And the kids loved it, and they got to get out, and they got to go to the park, and it was fabulous. And so that's what these are about. And my kids are all wearing super bright colors. Nora's in a hot pink, Barrett's in a neon yellow, and Jackson is in a blue that is wet, so it looks kind of like a darker blue, but it's still pretty bright. So I felt like these just worked better than the photos that I had of Jackson and Nora walking to school because that was a rainier day. It was in probably fall time, and this screamed summer. So I'm going to go with that and going to go all the way with this. I pulled out this little bit of pattern paper I had that has the words. This is from the Summer Days collection from Maggie Holmes, also part of my scraps. And I'm going to use it for my title. So that Bright Days. I loved that. It worked perfectly. It gave it a nice... It widened it a bit because I put the title there, but it also gives it a nice vertical look because I put it up and down like that. Digging that. Totally love that. I added a couple little corner pieces in yellow, so I'm bringing out that pop of yellow that you can kind of see poking through here and there. And then I add a couple pieces of ephemera. Now, my ephemera and my embellishments are also things that I am trying to stash bust. So I'm trying to make sure that this layout isn't just about using my scraps of pattern paper, but my scraps, air quoting, of things like my wood veneer. I need to get through them. I've used a lot of them. I need to use a little bit. I grabbed a couple wood veneer clouds to make that work. I am also using some ephemera that came from so long ago, a collection that I can't even think of what it's called. It's been so long. And it's got a huge summer vibe to it, and it had all the palm leaves in it. And I love that collection, and I actually have been hoarding the ephemera part to it. So I pulled out 3 pieces of that so I could get some of that used up. I am also going to go ahead and you'll see at the very end decide to do some stitching so that I'm using up some more thread so I can get new thread. Just all sorts of little things in the back of my mind to make sure that I'm using as much as I can in my stash for this layout. So it's not just paper stash and using scraps, but it's using the scraps of my stash as well. Okay, I think I repeated myself 5 times with that. You get the point. I'm also, of course, doing my famous little cut notch thing. I love to do this. It just adds a nice little pop of color to the back in your border, especially if you're not stitching, which I'm not going to be stitching around my border like I have been doing in a lot of layouts. This one I'm going to leave blank. So I felt like that worked well. Sorry, someone's stealing someone else's cereal if you heard the scream from Nora. So yes, I am just trying to use this particular pattern paper because I felt like it matched everything so perfectly, and I pulled it out of that bag and I wanted to use at least a little bit of it somewhere. So I don't even use the side I had planned on using, but that is okay. Now I'm thinking that because I have that Bright Days and it's in black, that I need to highlight my clouds by doing some tracing. So I'm just going to trace around everything basically in black. And I do like that, and it does help, but I still feel like there's something going on. So I'm going to move past that. I'm going to start and work through using, like I said, the wood veneer. I go in and grab 3 wood veneer clouds. And then to kind of finish off the idea of going into my stash, the big long part I went about just a minute ago, I'm also going to go through some of my sticker sheets that I'm trying to get through. And I don't get a ton used, but I do pull a couple things. I pull the word the best, and I believe there's 2 stickers I grabbed. So really it's not a ton, but it's better than nothing, and that's what I have to remember and what I have to go for and all of that. And there, now I've got little Miss Nora helping. So you see, my kids helped me create this layout. This voiceover is also a little bit rushed, and it's not going to be the best quality. We are actually headed out to another park today. Jackson's cousin is with her grandma and grandpa, which happen to be like Sean's aunt and uncle, so they're like second cousins, and they're meeting up together and they're gonna have a fun play date. So we're very excited. We're going to a park that has a fairy garden, so I'm gonna take Nora to go look at that and let Barrett play. And I'm hoping, because it's a Thursday and we're going right in the middle of the day, that it won't be too busy. And they're all very, very excited about that. So I'm trying to get this up because I'm literally finishing this layout up. I did the stitching on it this morning, and now I'm trying to do my voiceover. So it was not done in time, and that stresses me out. I like to have things done on time when they're due. But it's done now. So I'm playing with the clouds. I do add some more of those clouds. So I guess I got a few extra stickers on. I also did the new day. Now the new day is because in my journaling, it's going to talk about the fact that this was our first adventure out as a family, basically, to a park. Because I documented our last trip to the park before we closed down and tightened ourselves into our house. And here's the first one out. So I like that. It'll be fun to have that reference, I feel like, in our album, especially for this year with all the craziness. All right, so I'm just going to add, like I said, a couple of the stickers, and then you're going to see that I showed you I wanted to do some stitching. I don't show the stitching, but I am going to come in and you'll see just a minute the close-up of what it all looks like after it's stitched. What I did is I stitched the word bright and days and then 4 of the clouds, and I'm using pink and purple because that's the color in the background, that gradient color from that Summer Lights collection, and I wanted to bring that to the forefront a little bit, so I do that with my stitching. All right, guys, that is it. Sorry for the horrible voiceover. I will see you. I'll see you tomorrow actually for Freeze Friday. So have a great day, everyone. Take care. Bye.